Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Before we jump in, be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any Denver Broncos content. We are on the road to 600 subscribers, so thank you so much to every single one of you who have subscribed. It really means so much to me. Now that free agency and the NFL draft are in the books, we have a pretty clear picture of what this 2022 Denver Broncos team is going to look like. Here on Sparkin over Broncos, we will be breaking down each individual position group for the Denver Broncos, and we'll be identifying the strengths and weaknesses of the roster. And today, we'll be starting off with the safety position. The Denver Broncos safety room is one of our more well-rounded units. Not only are the two starters set in stone, but we also have very nice depth across the board at the safety position. Our starting free safety, Justin Simmons, is a name that we all know well, our best defensive player of the year, one of the best safeties in the game. There is no need to waste any time talking about him. We already know what he's going to bring to the table. Things get a bit more interesting when it comes to our starting strong safety, Kareem Jackson. Kareem has been a favorite amongst Broncos country since his arrival in 2019. Prior to joining the Broncos, Kareem spent 10 seasons with the Houston Texans, where he saw most of his snaps at the cornerback position. When he came to Denver, Kareem switched to the strong safety position full-time, where he began to thrive, as his skill set translated way better at safety than at corner. Kareem has ball hawk instincts, and you consistently see him laying the wood on opponents. He is a heat-seeking missile. Unfortunately, last season, Kareem's production took a bit of a nosedive. In 15 games played, Jackson was graded by Pro Football Focus as the 8th worst out of 92 eligible safeties. He really struggled in coverage, especially earlier in the season. Fans will think back to the Ravens and the first Raiders game last season, where the Broncos got torched over the top due to busts in zone coverage. Quite a few of those busts can be traced back to Kareem Jackson blowing his assignment. In 2021, Jackson posted a PFF grade of 48.5, which ranked 85th out of 93 eligible safeties. Towards the end of the season, Jackson began to lose some of that spring in his step that he possessed early on. Some of that could have been injury related, as he dealt with a back injury in the latter half of the season, but I fear that Jackson's age, 34 entering the 2022 season, may be finally catching up with him. This is probably going to be the last season that we will be able to squeeze starting level play out of Kareem Jackson, so fingers crossed that he is able to stay healthy down the stretch when we're going to need all hands on deck for a playoff run. Directly behind Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson currently sit 2021 fifth-round draft picks Caden Stearns and Jamar Johnson. Johnson is currently a bit of an unknown, as he spent most of last season on the inactive list. Stearns, on the other hand, did show some flashes when he got playing time last season. He is someone who could potentially be in line to take over for Kareem Jackson in 2023. Hopefully, should he be called upon, he'll be able to take that next step forward in his development and bring consistent starting level play alongside Justin Simmons. In this year's draft, the Broncos selected another safety in the 5th round in Delarian Turner-Yell out of Oklahoma. Delarian figures to provide depth at free safety, as well as hopefully make an impact as a rookie on special teams. Delarian isn't really a guy that you're going to want at box safety in the NFL, as he's almost a non-factor as a run defender. He also struggles quite a bit in man coverage, but he does make some nice plays in zone coverage. He could almost play sort of a hybrid nickel safety role, so I'm curious if that's what the Broncos envision for him, or if they have a completely different idea about how they want to use Delarian. It's going to be something to monitor as we go into training camp next season. Rounding out our safety room, we have two guys who likely are going to have to be special teams contributors in order to make the 53-man roster. These two players are J.R. Reed and P.J. Locke. Reed is the newcomer of these two. After signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars as an undrafted free agent in 2020, he spent a majority of the past 2 seasons bouncing between the Rams' practice squad and active roster. He spent the back half of the 2021 season with the New York Giants after being signed off of Los Angeles' practice squad, where he saw most of his snaps on special teams. Moving on to PJ Locke, he has been with the Broncos since 2019, where he has mostly been a special teams contributor. He was one of the few bright spots last season on a unit that was one of the worst in the league under former coordinator Tom McMahon. Locke only logged 27 defensive snaps last season, most of them in garbage time, so if he wants to make the active roster next season, he's going to have to continue to build his momentum as a special teams contributor. So overall, I feel quite confident in our safety group as we enter the 2022 season. We have 2 top-end starters, and we also have some quality depth in the event one of those guys gets nicked. Most importantly though, our safety core has several guys who can make a potential impact on special teams, so I am really a big fan of our safety unit overall. But I'm curious, Broncos country, do you feel the same way as I do about our safety unit? Drop those comments down below, I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another upload. Also, while you're at it, be sure to check out my second channel, Denver Broncos Syndicate, for even more Broncos news and analysis. I would really appreciate it. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin' Over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.